Before we even start, how many of you have used AI before? Please raise up your hands. Has it given you answers that you were sure were right? How about generating images with it? Did they look realistic, human? Probably not, but even then, it's getting harder and harder to differentiate them from real ones. AI can be used for many things, from doing research and helping with homework assignments, to faking photos and videos of people that are so realistic, others will think they're real. I myself have used AI before to help with my homework assignments and to help me get ideas on what stories to write for English literature. But over time, I noticed inconsistencies in the data that it gave to me. Sometimes the answer would be really confusing or just straight up wrong. The stories I wrote were repetitive and had a similar narrative, and because I wasn't the one to make the idea, it didn't feel satisfying for me to write. Because I'm a dancer and gymnast, I was really curious about how the video generating feature would work for contemporary dances, but that's when I noticed how horrible it really was. Upon taking a closer look, I could see that the knees were turned in, the feet were weirdly bent, and the arms just looked strange. Maybe without looking too closely, and 11 years of dance and gymnastics experience under my belt, I wouldn't have noticed. But it was so painfully obvious to me. AI isn't perfect, and it most probably won't master dance, because dance, gymnastics, and ballet are all physical fields of art. They require a good coach and rigorous training to be able to do properly. You can't AI generate good technique, no matter how many videos worth of data you will analyze. AI may be useful in fields like design, digital design especially, music, and art, but when it comes to physical fields, because it's not as helpful, they're not getting as affected by it. By definition, a creative medium is the means by which we convert imagination and ideas into something visible and tangible, meaning that imagination has to be present for these creative and unique ideas to form. Meaning that, by definition, AI art isn't real art. It's repetitive, it's regurgitative, and it's not creative. Because AI, as a system designed to minimize errors and optimize performance, does not take any real creative risks. This was a piece that recently won an art competition. Would you be able to tell that it was AI generated? Maybe if you were just passing by it, looking around, you'd say, oh, that's beautiful, and then you'd move on. Recently, there's been a trend in people calling themselves AI artists, even though they just have to put in a few words into a prompt to create an image they deem worthy to be called art. This completely minimizes the time, effort, and dedication that real artists put into their work, be it digital or physical. It's like getting a commission done and then saying that you are the artist, even though you just asked for it to be made. This piece was drawn by me for my best friend's birthday. It's my vision of how she would look like as Spider-Man. I spent time on it, hours, and I had a mental crisis midway through because I didn't think I would be able to finish on time. But it's real, it's raw, it's my vision and my imagination. This is another piece that was drawn by a person who also took their time and dedication to make it. About 2 minutes while they waited for it to be generated. You can see that the hands disappearing into the laptop look odd, and the eyes are spaced very weirdly, and the skin looks oddly smooth. I AI generated this image to show you. Once we learn to pick apart AI-generated images, we can start differentiating them from real ones. Things to look out for are the hands, hair, and eyes, as well as other small details that may look odd or out of place. AI doesn't generate new images because it has the ability to make something new. It just goes through thousands of terabytes of data. Self-generalized thoughts arise from an internal set of mental processes. It's a mental process that goes through your brain, and you make these thoughts yourself. They're creative, they are unique, they are your thoughts. The prefrontal cortex is an area of the brain that is charged with making decisions and solving problems. An area of the prefrontal cortex, called the ventromedial prefrontal cortex, or VMPFC for short, is charged for regulating emotions and self-reflection, both of which spur the creative process. In addition to that, recent research shows the link between the prefrontal cortex and creativity. Creativity comes harder to some people than it does to others, but with practice, it can become easier. because teens like me don't have a fully developed prefrontal cortex than adults have, but we have more neurons, meaning that we can be more creative. It saddens me when teens my age, with the same cognitive abilities as me, don't use their creative thinking skills because they don't think they can be creative or smart enough. This leads into something that teens will call procrastination. They will just use AI to do things instead of doing them themselves. There are exercises that can help you be a better thinker. Things like thinking of the silliest and weirdest thing, and then naming 10 reasons for why it's like that. For example, why do people like shiny, colorful rocks? Answers can be anything from logical answers, like because you look beautiful, to irrational answers like because some people have magic and have to try to hide it with those rocks. My mom used to do this with me when I was younger, and I do this with my younger cousins now, because if it helped me, it might help them as well. So, some people have started using AI to the simplest things, like doing their entire homework assignments, doing their research, and writing essays for them, things we get assigned to do to help us learn. This leads to an inability to do these tasks yourself because of an over-reliance on AI. Schools have been forced to make written assignments rather than typed on a laptop because students then have to at least rewrite what the AI generated. But there are also positives. Some students with neurological development problems, like ADHD and ADD, may find it hard to focus on 4, 5, 6 different sources just to find 3 simple pieces of information. Summarizing it into a couple of paragraphs using AI can make learning not only easier, but more understandable and easier for those students. So, you might be wondering, are our fears of AI overtaking the creative world ill-founded? Yes and no. There are 2 sides of this argument. On one hand, AI will raise up the prices and value of actual human-made goods, like paintings and live music, because those versions of AI will be available. It can't impact physical fields, like dance and theater, and will have a hard time with physical design and technologies. But since it's already taking over music and art, both of which are very important for emotional and individual development, it's already becoming a problem. If your job can be done by AI, you're at a risk of getting replaced, so you have to learn to be innovative. The future of creativity is in our hands. So I ask you, do you think that we as a society will be able to adapt to this challenge, or will we fall victim to a non-human intelligence?